You're trying to get around Los Santos, but you don't have a car because that job at the Davis Mega Mall doesn't pay well. You can't even use the courier bike off duty, so the only option you have left is Los Santos Transit. Los Santos, the main city in Grand Theft Auto 5, has two main modes of public transport: the train and the bus. There's also a ropeway, but we'll be talking about that one later. First, we'll overview the bus system. The official name used by Los Santos Transit's bus network is the Bullet, as to match the city's crime rate. The bus network is quite dense in the city area and even has some buses that go as far as the scenic Paleto Bay community. But like any other transport network in America, the size of it can be deceptive, as you'll probably have to wait a very long time to get the bus. And of course, to get to your destination, you actually need to sit inside the bus. So let's see what whip you get. You have this 12-meter bus that has a standard paint scheme, but with different colors. The white base remains consistent with 4 varying colors: blue, red, orange, and teal. But the teal one is quite special. The teal buses serve the Los Santos International Airport, and as you can see, the indicator is different. All buses have a downtown indicator on them, but only the airport buses have an LSIA indicator. An interesting thing though is that all the normal routes consistently have downtown indicators, no matter if they're going out of town or into town. Looking at the tank on the top, this bus appears to be powered by compressed natural gas. Despite its length, buses have 2 doors due to the amount of people getting on and off stations, and it seems to be like a bus from the 90s or early 2000s. Quite an interesting look. And interestingly, there aren't ads pasted all over the outsides of the buses. Looking at the underside, it's quite sturdy, with 6 wheels and 2 axles. But despite this, according to game stats, it can only still fit 16 American-sized people, so not that much. It has a typical North American bus interior, and the driver's cab, it comes with a wheel, and the view is nice. Enough about that though, let's talk about trains! First, let's start with the train itself. Referred to as the Arrow by Los Santos Transit, it resembles a Siemens P2000 railcar, which is used by LA Metro. As such, we can apply the real-life stats of the P2000 to the GTA version, having a top speed of 70 miles per hour and an acceleration of 3 miles per hour a second and a deceleration of 3.5 miles per hour per second. Pretty good stats. Let's go for a ride and check out the system. Here we are at the end of the line, the Los Santos International Airport Station. While we make our way there, we can really appreciate the sense of humor the devs have, integrating voice lines like, "Please do not urinate in the station," "Please do not urinate on fellow passengers," and "Please report any homeless people to a police officer." And currently, the Los Santos Transit Authority is actually working on a $16 billion streetcar project which will close down many streets and then reopen with good public transport, bringing vehicle traffic up to 3 miles per hour. This is according to Weasel News, by the way. Weasel News also told you guys to like and subscribe and to join my Discord if you like this video. It's a railway community with people just like you, and the link is in the description below. Entering the station, we can sort of see a mid-2000s design. It resembles a lot of airports in the United States. As you can see, the station also contains the obligatory wet floor signs and some poster artwork, which is typical in a lot of LA stations. Sorry, I mean Los Santos. According to GTA, not many people actually ride the Arrow, so the people that do aren't really the best crowd. And if it gets crowded, there's even an announcement that says, "A crowded train is not an excuse for inappropriate touching, no matter how tempting." Here, the turnstiles look very fair hoppable, as you can see a massive gap between the arms and the edge. Ironically, the ticket purchasing area is past the turnstiles, so I think they might need to redesign that a little. The concourses in the station are long and the walk is time consuming, so while we do that, let me tell you more about the system map. The transit system has quite a redundant design, with a loop going around it. Very, very interesting. You don't see this in a lot of systems. This means that if I wanted to go to Pillbox South from Puerto de Sol station, I would have to go through Strawberry, Pillbox North, Burton, Portola, Del Piero, Little Sol, and then all the way to Pillbox South. Very redundant. They could have just created a line or a branch of some sort, but they decided to create a loop that doesn't even close, leading to an extremely poor design. Both termini have loops at the end, but the Davis loop has a half underground and a half overground loop, something that you don't really see anywhere. The Los Santos arrow has a mix of overground and underground on its network, leading to underground and overground stations, some in a tram stop style or some in a metro style like this. Although this station has a very 2000s-esque looking appearance with an unkept condition, really. Leaving the station, we can see some of the tunnel construction. This one is an extremely large cavity with 2 tracks and a single bore. Speaking of boring tunnels, the Pillbox North station is currently under construction by LST. It appears to be an infill station. The trains, as we can see, have 2 cars, both consisting of cabs. The trains also use an overhead wire system, as opposed to a third rail system. Let's check out the overground segment and how their stations look. To most surprise, the station is actually quite crowded at this hour. On the inside, the train interior is pretty standard. The station placement, though, is not optimal. It's in between some highway lanes, and it's just, in general, not a pleasant area. When you exit the station, you can't find any amenities, no restaurants, no parks, nothing. And you get assaulted by random homeless people. 0 out of 10.
Enemy spotted. NANI?!
I gotta get a pic of that!
Basically, that's the ridership experience. The Los Santos cable car goes to Mount Chiliad, which is a very scenic place and is the highest point on the GTA map. It's quite the touristic area, with wonderful hiking trails and scenic views. A ride costs $10, and you can even bring bikes and motorcycles up on it. That's really all, since it isn't a significant mode of transport, but it's still very useful for those who want to break from the city. So, the question is, would you be able to live here car-free? How good is the public transport actually? Well, the bus system needs a decent amount of work, as the frequency is subpar, and you also run into a lot of unpleasant people. As for the rail system, the network is somewhat redundant, and it's extremely infrequent with a very, very unpleasant ridership experience. I would give it a D, maybe a D-. If I was in a low-income neighborhood, I would definitely sacrifice everything. I'd be eating bread and cheese just so I could drive a car in Los Santos. Anyways, if you enjoyed, thank you so much for the support. Make sure to join my Discord server. I'm the Transit Diaries, and as always, stay tuned for more.